This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ordines, to use this as an educational material. Good day, everyone. My name is Glenford Zuniga, and we will be reporting the topics intended for Group 5. The topics are: explain how globalization affects religious practices and beliefs, analyze relationship between religion and global conflict, conversely, and global peace. The role of media in the globalization and culture, and the role of media in the religion and the creation of global village. Does the religion unite the global village? Then it will be reported by me, Glenford Zuniga, Cabegas Kervin James, Tavares Christian Paul, Caraldi Ariel, Obal John Charlin, Berdin Ruvik Dave, and Pakanya Jericho. So, shall we start? I'll be reporting on how globalization affects religious practices and beliefs. So, our objectives will be how globalization affects any kind of religion and how it affects its practices and beliefs. Moving forward, religion and globalization have always shared a relation of struggle and conflict. Globalization has generally been linked with economic and political interdependence, which ultimately has brought people closer. An effect of no event is isolated but is felt in far off places too. It has shifted the cultural build-up of the world and lead to a formation of a global culture, a common minimum which is accepted by all. Globalization stands for increase in daily contact where religions are becoming more self-conscious for themselves as being the world religions. The basic tenets of globalization stands against religion parochialism. By diminishing the barriers between different cultures, globalization lands religion in a quagmire of conflicts which reinforce social identities as some do not accept the new realities and turn to religion to discover their own identity. Religion provides a sense of belongingness to a group in the world. Religion has stood the complexities and onslaught of the modern world and is seen to be further intensified under the condition of contemporary development. Although some groups have made religion as a weapon to both integrate and terrorize masses, generally people have become more tolerant of other religious beliefs and practices, and have come to associate all acts of terror as anti-religious. In third world nations, where the vulnerable sections find themselves more marginalized by the forces of globalization, religion takes a prime welfare role and acts as cultural protector for these sections. Religion thus plays a social role by helping in social causes and successfully gets greater recognition. Here it presents a direct challenge to globalization. India is home to a massive rural population to whom the benefits of globalization will take time to reach. In this fast-paced life, religion acts as home for personal peace and gives a message of peace in times of crisis. Urbanization has attracted many rural youth and continues to bring them to cities for better life. Religion can use the new possibilities presented by the global forces to reach the more people and also to rediscover the essence of other religions. All religions have fixed texts, but none has fixed beliefs. Religion can come together and stand for increased peace in the world with mutual tolerance and respect. A key feature of contemporary society, especially according to postmodernists, is the process of globalization. on how society has become more interconnected across the world, economically, culturally, and politically. This has not this has had a number of effects on religion and beliefs, as Peter Bayer 1994 identified three key impacts of globalization on religion. It is particularism, universalism, marginalization. So, particularism. Particularism is a religion has increasingly been used as a avenue for anti-globalization activity. While one feature of globalization is a sort of cultural homogenization, or other called the creation of a single global popular culture. So religion is often seen as a opposite of that, a symbol of how people are culturally different from one another rather than the same. This has contributed to a rise in fundamentalism and its feature of political conflict in many areas of the world. Next will be universalism. However, there is also some evidence of the opposite trend. While small fundamentalism groups might emphasize their difference from other people, the major religion have increasingly focused on what unites them, far from feared clash of civilizations, which will be returned to later. Religious leaders emphasizes shared values and common concerns. Indeed, interfaith dialogue through global communications has helped to diffuse conflicts between religions. And last will be marginalization. Bayer also notes that religion is increasingly marginalized in contemporary society, playing less part in public life. Although this may well be a rather Eurocentric view and may be caused by other social changes rather than globalization. So another way in which globalization has impacted our religion is the way religion had made use of global communications. Religious groups are able to take advantage of modern technology to recruit new members, spread the word, and keep in contact with other members of their religion. While with some of the more fundamentalist, anti-modern, and anti-global religious organization, this can hold a certain irony. It is one of the ways in which religion is much less linked to nationality than it was. Religious identity is much less attached to national identity than it was once. Most of the main world religions are international in character, and while some countries still have clear state religions, it is certainly less a feature of national identity in the West than it is used to be. However, people do still sometimes refer to countries like the UK as Christian countries. So that's all. Thank you. And
Good day everyone. I am Injin Cadet Kabiga. For today, we will tackle about the relationship between religion and global conflict. First is in recent decades, religion has assumed unusual prominence in international affairs. A recent article in Economist asserts that if there ever was a global drift towards secularism, it has been halted and probably reversed. In the article, Philip Jenkins, a note scholar from Pennsylvania State University, predicts that when historians look back at this century, they will see religions as the prime animating and destructive force in human affairs. Guiding attitudes to political liberty and obligations, concepts of nationhood, and, of course, conflicts and wars. The article then recites statistics from a public opinion survey in Nigeria demonstrating that the Nigerians believe religion to be more central to their identity than nationality. Nigerians are thus more likely to identify themselves first and foremost as Christians or Muslims rather than as Nigerians. The horrendous events of September 11, the conflagration in Iraq, and aggressive assertiveness of quasi-theocratic Iran only confirm in popular mind that religion lies behind much of contemporary international conflict. Next is no major religions has been exempt from complicity in violent conflict. Yet we need to be aware of an almost universal propensity to oversimplify the role that religion plays in international affairs. Religion is not usually the sole or even primary cause of the conflict. Next is with so much emphasis on religion as a source of conflict, the role of religions as a force is peacemaking usually overlooked. Next is religious affiliations and convictions often motivates religious communities to advocate particular peace-related government policies. Religious communities also directly oppose repression and promote peace and reconciliation. Next is religious leaders and institutions can mediate in conflict situations, serves as a communication link between opposing sides, and providing training and peacemaking methodologies. This form of religious peacemaking garners less public attention, but it is growing in importance. Next is interfaith dialogue is another form of religious peacemaking. Rather than seeking to resolve a particular conflict, it aims to diffuse interfaith tensions that may cause future conflict or derive from previous conflict. Interfaith dialogue is expanding even in places where interreligious tensions are highest. Not frequently, the most contentious interfaith relationships can provide the context for most meaningful and productive exchange. Next is giving religions importance as both of a source and international conflict in a resource for peacemaking. It is regrettable that the US government is so ill equipped to handle religious issues and relate to religious actors. If the US government is to insert itself into international conflicts or build deeper and more productive relationships with countries around the world, it needs to devise a better strategy to effectively and respectfully engage with the religion's realm. So that's all. Thank you for listening.
Good day, sir. I'm Christian Paul Alvarez, and my topic is Analyze the relationship between conversely and global peace. The relationship between conversely and global peace is very important to analyze. In the field of international politics, religion has been regarded as a new source of clash between and among people with different and even similar beliefs. Some political movements rely heavily on their religion. There is a conflict in the world because there are many greedy for power and they want to be the most powerful in the world. They use religion for evil deeds. For example, when the candidates are campaigning for a political platform, they use religion to gather votes. They using religion for their own sake. And one reason why there is a global conflict, it's because some people are not respecting one's belief. For example, Roman Catholic and Iglesia ni Cristo. There is a conflict between these two because they are arguing about their beliefs. And there will be a global peace if man believes in God, not religion, because only God can save us all. No religion can save man. And we must respect each other and others' belief. Don't use differences into a global conflict. Respect begets respect. So religion can a global peace and it can be also a global conflict. It is depending on how we're going to use a religion. No major religion has been exempt from complicity in violent conflict. Yet, we need to be aware of an almost universal propensity to oversimplify the role that religion plays in international affairs. Religion is not usually the sole or even primary cause of conflict. With so much emphasis on religion as a source of conflict, the role of religion as a force in peacemaking is usually overlooked. Religious affiliation and conviction often motivates religious communities to advocate particular peace-related government policies. Religious communities also direct oppose repression and promote peace and reconciliation. And the example is religious leaders and institutions can mediate in conflict situations, serves as a communication link between opposing sides, and provide training in peacemaking methodologies. This form of religious peacemaking garners less public attention but is growing in importance. Interfaith dialogue is another form of religious peacemaking. Rather than seeking to resolve a particular conflict, it aims to diffuse the interfaith tension that may cause future conflict or derive from previous conflict. Interfaith dialogue expanding even in places where interreligious tensions are highest. Not infrequently, the most contentious interfaith relationship can provide the context for the most meaningful and productive exchange. Given religion's importance as both a source of international conflict and a resource for peacemaking, it is regrettable that the U.S. government is so ill-equipped to handle religious issues and related religious actors. If the U.S. government is to insert itself into international conflicts or build deeper and more productive relationships with countries around the world, it needs to devise a better strategy to effectively and respectfully engage with the religious realm. And that's the end for this video, guys, and thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. I am Ensign Cadet Ariel Caralde. My topic is all about the role of media in the globalization of culture. Before we talk about the role of globalization in culture, we will first know what is the meaning of media. So, media is the main means of mass communication. Example of media is the internet, radio, television, and even newspaper, as long as it gives information to a huge number of viewers, listeners, or readers. For me, media's main use is to inform, a huge number of listener or viewer. And now, because we know what is media, let's talk about the main topic, which is the role of media in the globalization of culture. The There are three roles of media in the globalization of culture. First role, facilitating cultural exchange. The first role of media in globalization of culture is it enables the spread of a certain culture to the different parts of the globe, meaning media is a great help in promoting a culture because most of the people nowadays use media from smartphones, radios, televisions. We can understand, appreciate, and learn each other's culture through media. Example, you are watching a television show that features the life of a Japanese. Because of media, you can learn their culture or maybe adapt to their culture without going to Japan. Then, the second role is the multiple flows of information and images between countries, which means that media helps people acknowledge the similarities and differences of each culture, and for that, we can communicate or interact with others without any discrimination for their cultures and then makes the globalization more effective. For example, an American person watch a Filipino movie, then he saw that every Filipino says po and opo to older people. Now, he has an idea that if he will go to the Philippines, he has to say po and opo to the people older than him. So last, and the media helps other countries to have a stronger relationship. It is possible because every country gives mostly positive informations to other country, which helps them in promoting their culture to the people. It will then help the country's economy, especially in tourism department. Example is the tourism in the Philippines.
Good day, everyone. My name is John Charlon de Ubal, and I'm from Group 5. And I'm here to tackle about my topic, which is the role of media in religion. So, first, media in religion. Media have the ability to communicate religious messages that will enable to people to achieve lofty ambitions and greatness through hard work and godliness and civic principles, which will eventually bring about the development in the society. So that's the media in religion. So let's move on to the main point of this discussion, which is the role of media in religion. So, the role of media in religion is more prominent role in a social and cultural life since the emergence of the so-called which called the mass media in the late 19th century. So before that time, even though the mass media through which social and cultural knowledge were shared by oral transmission, ritual performance, writing, visual presentation, and also printing were vital. They were more tacit and transparent to the process. They enabled, but today, in a range of social and cultural.
So, hi guys, this is Rovic and Berdin from Group of Soniga, and I will tackle the global village. So, what is global village? Global village describes the phenomenon of entire world becoming more interconnected as a result of propagation of media technologies throughout the world. So the term was coined by Canadian media theorist Marshall McLuhan. In his books, The Gutenberg Galaxy, The Making of Typographic Man in 1962, and Understanding Media in 1964. So literally, the Skosu Imli describes how the term of global village has come to designate the dominant term for expressing a global coexistence altered by transitional commerce, migration, and culture. Economic journalist Thomas Friedman's definition of global village as a world tied together into a globalized marketplace and village is another contemporary understanding of the term in 2012. So, global village is like a website or uh, that is used in many people throughout the world. So it interconnected many people in any parts of the world, so they can chat or communicate with each other. So it is used and um, worth living for others, because even I am in the Philippines and they are in United States or any parts of the world, we can connect it through video, chat, or call, someone like that. So next is the purpose of Global Village. It promotes the education literacy for marginal children in the U.S. and developing nations. So also the children uses this kind of propaganda or website called Global Village. So so they can communicate with their father or mother uh, if they are living or working in another place. It's so easy and connect them well. So the term global village means all parts of the world, as they are being brought together by the internet and other electronic communication interconnection. As example, Skype is the number one used application to communicate with other, even you're in other country. So this is so that's why other people uses this um, kind of uh, apps, because Skype is you can use it in video calls. Example, I'm in like here in Cebu, Philippines, and my aunt is working in Kuwait or Dubai, we can easily interconnected by the use of Skype. So that's why I am happy now that Global Village interconnects us, um, my aunt and me easily, and no hard, no hard, not now. I mean, not hard to find in every part of the world. So thank you for listening. I hope you have many learn. You have many learnings and knowledge came from me.
Good day, everyone. I am Jericho P. Pacanya, and let's proceed. The question is, do religions unite global village? Um, we all know that there are many different religions, and each have different set or beliefs, culture, and etc. Each religion have different ideas about these things. These religions are Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, and many more. So the question is, do religions unite global village? This question is complicated and have been tackled many times through debates, but for me, it's a yes. It will unite people, but how? I think in a way of understanding the Word of God, and it has nothing to do with different religion, but instead it is the people who understand very well what does the Word of God really means. People will unite through the use of internet because it helps it helps everyone to exchange beliefs, ideas, and in that way they can understand each other's sides. Um, we may have different religions, beliefs, and ideas, but as a human being who has a mind to think critically, hypothetically, we tend to respect other people of all ages, races, genders, cultures, and backgrounds, and unites them with a shared belief system. Apart from benefiting individuals with a sense of belonging, the communities forged together by religion can benefit society as a whole. For example, there are countless religious outreach organizations in the global village that is designed to help the poor and needy. Some are strong communities of believers can lead to strong communities as a whole. After all, regardless of whether or not everyone agrees on the specifics of a given faith, the majority of religionists have the same goal: to help those in need and make the world a better place. There are also times when religion can unite people or bring them together, like during times of crisis. For example, and every Saturday or Sunday, people could go to their places of worship and get comfort from other people of the same religion. It is good that religion is uniting these people, but not all are being united with other people who believe in the same religion. Most people believe in a religion so that they can have a type of community, and so they can communicate and be united with other people, and that is a good way of understanding other people, and that is the example of how religion reunite the global village. because they can use internet to exchange information, ideas, to understand each other. In June 2000, 300 representatives of 39 religions met in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania under the leadership of Episcopal Bishop William Swing to sign a charter establishing the United Religions Initiative or URI. The URI asserts that all religions derive their wisdom from the same source. So, the statement is it implies that all religions have a common base for unification so that they can understand, reunite, and respect each other's religions. In 1995, Bishop Swing declared that as the world is progressing toward unity in terms of global economy, global media, and global ecological system, one thing is missing: a global soul. In other words, a unified world will need a unified religion. Basically, by means of religion, people can unite into a global village by having the same faith as they believe in God despite of differences they have. All major religions and spiritual beliefs teach love of other human beings. Both Muslim, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, and etc. For example, the Creator made all human beings. Believing that all people were made by God's creative act ideally should result in greater tolerance for people who speak in a different language or have skin of a different color from one's own. For many believers, in fact, tolerance is not enough. Some people believe that God is the author of racial difference. Then we ought to celebrate that difference, not just tolerate it. In this picture, the world becomes a village where people truly care about for one another, regardless of their differences. Religions offer much more than moral codes, but they usually include a moral code. Typically, a religious moral code contains such obvious commands as respect your elders or such prohibitions as do not murder. But for anyone thinking about religion in the global village, religion usually offer a picture of a justice for a whole community. In that picture, people materials needs are made and they are united peacefully because they understand each other and they have the same faith despite of their religious differences.